There are so many modern games with awesome graphics and gameplay. However, why not revisit some of the older gems that are almost a masterpiece? I have made a list of 13 legendary games that you can revisit in 2024 to have an all-out blast. There are also some bonus games at the end. So, let's look at the first game on our list. Batman Arkham City. We all love our favorite Dark Knight. When it comes to the best Batman games, then the award goes to Arkham Knight and Asylum. However, there's just a sweet spot in our heart for Arkham City. You can say that this game is kind of like an underdog. It's been several years since it was first released, and it still gives tough competition to some of the modern games out there. Briefly, this will be a perfect choice for those who wants to play the best Batman game on a low-end laptop or potato PC. Also, you can revisit in 2024 to live those nostalgic memories. There is a lot of crazy stuff in this game that makes it stand out among the other titles of that time.
I'm sure I saw Batman.
The entire genre took a major shift when Asylum was released. So, how do you surpass such a great masterpiece? Well, you simply make a new one and name it as Arkham City, which was in fact a calculated success as the creators perfected all the features from the previous title. The game showed seamless combat and gave the players a chance to explore an open-world city full of details and content. Almost every fight was great as it forces the players to figure out what gadgets to use to tackle the enemy's defense. Also, the addition of side missions and DLC were a feast for the eyes. It was such a massive gift from the developers for the fans who were just raring to go for more awesome content.
Sure, I saw Batman and some other guy falling from the tower when it exploded.
No matter what, every time we talked about Batman games, the Arkham City is like a dark horse waiting in the shadows. Even if you have played the most famous Arkham Knight, then you must play the city as well. The game gives you plenty of extra Batman stuff and enemies to kill. It's such a great feeling to kill the enemies in a variety of ways, rather than just going all out with kicks and punches. You can go in full stealth mode, or use your different gadgets to make the combat more exciting and enjoyable. Just Cause 2. This is hands down my favorite game from the series. Sure, there are better sequels with updated graphics and features, but there's just something about the second installment that keeps players coming back. It harks back to a time when there weren't any complications or highly advanced features. We all just loved simple exploration and blasting enemy bases. My favorite thing was driving the best cars at high speeds. It was amazing to take a break and free roam in the open world. The Just Cause series is known for its massive destruction. As a player, you are a walking mayhem, capable of immense destruction with insane gadgets and weapons.
You got the memory cards, so I guess we're still one step ahead.
And where does that step take us?
The agency's last contact here on Penang.
However, one thing I would like to point out is that sometimes it gets repetitive. You can't really play the entire series without feeling a bit bored, as after a while the enemy bases start to look all the same. So, it's much better to play one game to your heart's content without feeling the repetition. The only reason I mentioned the second part is that it was when the series was at its peak. Nothing was too extraordinary. The best example I can give you is the Fast and Furious series. You could say that Just Cause 2 is like Fast 5, while the other parts are filled with more action, more features, and advanced graphics and visuals. However, in 2024, it would be awesome to revisit the second part.
For you. I'm not here to help you. Unless you can help me find Tom Sheldon. What? I thought it was with you.
If you are highly interested in the series, definitely go with the best looking title, which is, in my opinion, Just Cause 3. Nevertheless, I just want to give more love to the OG installment because I have so many great memories with it. I was skipping classes just to play this game. It was such a great feeling to put on music, drive super fast cars, or destroy enemy bases.
From you, Jade Tan, here's girl, right? Huh. You must be Spooks. Spooks. Hope you...
Prototype 2. To be honest, I actually prefer the original Prototype. No matter what, I always love to talk about the original, but I have already mentioned it in several other videos. So, just for now, let's look at some of the plus points of the sequel. Also, if you ever decide to play the series, make sure to start with the original. It's hands down the best one. The sequel works on the original's concept and makes some new changes. For me, the biggest reason I prefer the OG is because the creators added a different character in the second part. I won't spoil anything, but there's a major role for the original protagonist Alex Mercer in the sequel, which is not the ending I was hoping for. Overall, you could say that Prototype 2 is a must-play only if you have played the first part. Now, talking about the core aspects of the game, Prototype isn't anything extraordinary. What made the game so much more fun are the powers and the options to do anything in free roam. This is the only game besides infamous Second Son that introduced some of the craziest superpowers. I had a blast while free roaming and using all my powers for various purposes. You're basically a superhuman in this game who somehow got his powers because of a virus. Now, you can transform your hands into various destructive weapons to cause havoc. Prototype 2 brings closure to the main storyline, and as much as I want another sequel, it just wouldn't feel right. The main story is sort of ended. So, if the creators make a third part, they must add a new main character or create a spin-off. The Prototype series is one of the most underrated gems out there that not many players have tried. Far Cry 3. If I remember correctly, this was my first Far Cry game. When I decided to play this series, I specifically Googled which part was the best. I can confidently say that the game did not disappoint at all. I know there's a great audience who favors the newer parts, but for me, nothing beats the OG third and second Far Cry. We have already covered the second part in our older videos, so for now, let's just talk about the greatness of Far Cry 3. To be honest, not everyone is going to like this game. It's one of those games that you must complete to fully appreciate the developer's hard work. In 2024, we have plenty of games with better graphics and outstanding features, so it's not easy to play such an old game. However, despite all this, I just want to say that you will never be disappointed after finishing the main story. Seeing how the main character evolves throughout the story is one of the most amazing aspects of the game. A game that starts off with you just wanting to survive and get home seamlessly changes into more of a psychological and physical challenge. Every moment feels right, and every cutscene feels accurate, even though the entire concept is changing. When it comes to the open world, it's not that bad. Sure, it's not at the level of modern games, but we're talking about revisiting old games. The weapons, open world, driving, and everything else are enough to give you one hell of a blast. Watch Dogs. Now I know it had many problems at launch and it disappointed us gamers, but in 2024 the game is a masterpiece. There are so many great things I can say about this game. It's almost a crime not to play the original Watch Dogs. I don't care what anyone says, but we can all agree that the series had massive potential. Also, I'll settle the debate about which one's the best. It's definitely the original Watch Dogs. The sequel is surely better in terms of advanced features, updated graphics, and visuals. However, the original Watch Dogs has that sense of nostalgia and originality. To this day, players still talk about it, and there's a big community around it. It's extremely sad that such a great series failed and almost disappeared. I believe only the OG fans know how great the game actually is. I'm positive that even in 2024, most gamers will fall in love with the memories and nostalgia. The open world was at its best, and the hacking mechanics gave a refreshing feeling. It added a brand new touch to the open world genre. On some level, we can also relate to the main character as he's basically a normal human, with the only difference being that he knows hacking.
On the other end of the call. Give me a name.
They never gave me a name.
I'll tell you a name. Lena Pierce.
Finally, the storyline deserves appreciation as it certainly matched the gameplay and provided a fantastic experience. In the end, I want to stay positive that we'll get a new entry in the series sooner or later. Red Dead Redemption 1. Now every one of you must have played Red Dead Redemption 2, which is the greatest game of all time, but RDR 1 also deserves more attention. The main reason you should play this game is to continue the storyline. Despite its lower end visuals and graphics, it's an awesome experience to bring closure to John's story. The game also offers some familiar faces, and you will see how other gang members are living after several years. If you're playing this game after RDR2, then, in my opinion, there isn't much besides seeing how the story turned out. You will spend most of your time toward completion just to see the ending. On the other hand, if you played this game before RDR2, you will surely appreciate how much of a masterpiece it is. Metal Gear Rising. It's awesome that we are talking about this game once again. I'm such a huge fan of Metal Gear Rising and will always be grateful for finding it. To this day, the game holds its own against major fast-paced hack-and-slash games. One of the key features is the soundtrack. I can't even begin to describe the feelings I had while running around and killing enemies with a banger soundtrack in the background. The music just enhances the overall experience and makes you feel like the ultimate ninja. If I'm being completely honest, this is a game that everyone should play, especially those who love the thrill of hack and slash. Another fantastic aspect is the cutscenes. The game is packed with cinematic cutscenes that don't do justice to the file size of the game. Metal Gear Rising offers an incredible amount of content in such a small package. Now, if this doesn't convince you, then let me tell you that the final boss is one of the hardest video game boss battles. The guy has a huge health bar in several phases. At one point, it almost becomes crazy because you wonder why this guy isn't dying already. The developers did a great job with every moment in cutscene. I'm sure you will never get bored or feel the urge to quit. So, if you're looking for a quick banger and just want to slash some enemies, Metal Gear Rising will be your prime pick to revisit in 2024. Need for Speed Most Wanted, the most iconic racing game of all time. What can I say, guys? Every gamer knows about Most Wanted. For me, games like NFS or Prince of Persia act as breakthrough levels. They help gauge how long someone has been gaming and provide shared nostalgia moments. There isn't really much to discuss here, as almost all Need for Speed games are about different cars, multiple modes, and tracks, along with updated features or visuals. All the games share the core mechanics of racing and unlocking different cars. So, it's nice to just get a nostalgic feeling rather than going deep into the features. Tell me in the comments about your favorite NFS games. We have already talked about other parts, but Most Wanted is the most iconic of them all, and we all have our favorite nostalgic memories with it. The game is such a big deal that there are 2 versions and even a mobile game. I remember that even non-racing fans mostly know about Most Wanted and Payback. So, we can't say much and can only appreciate the awesome moments that the game has provided us throughout all these years. Even if it's not the best title in terms of features, Most Wanted is still considered a fan favorite game. Far Cry 4. Here comes another Far Cry game. As much as I want to mention the second part, the 4th Far Cry offers a really good and different experience. The game takes you into 2 different worlds, enhancing the overall enjoyment. Tell me your opinions about Shangri-La in the comments. Honestly, this is definitely another top OG Far Cry game. I think after this, the Far Cry series shifted towards modern graphics and updated features. However, in 2024, it will be a great time to revisit the game and have an all-out blast. Far Cry 4 also offers an engaging storyline where you, as a player, are living in Nepal, trying to solve other people's problems. You will have 2 factions to interact with, and by the end of the game, you will learn about each of those factions and help them in different ways to reduce the villain's power or impact. The game also offers different endings and holds a secret ending, which I won't spoil, but you should discover it after finishing the game. In my opinion, the most important highlight of this game is the villain, because he is amazing and kind of philosophical. The developers did a great job giving us another compelling villain similar to Far Cry 3's Voss. It's not always that we have a lot of fun while playing old games, especially with so many next-gen FPS games available these days. Despite this, the 4th part exceeded all my expectations and will encourage anyone to dive into this game. So, if you have played the original Far Cry 3 and are looking for another Far Cry game, the 4th part will be a great choice to revisit in 2024. Shadow of the Colossus. I'm sure that not all of you have heard about this game. It's crazy that after all this time, we still haven't gotten an official PC release. Shadow of the Colossus is an extremely underrated game with huge potential and is loved by many players. No matter what anyone says, my favorite highlight is the storyline. Nothing tops the story, whether it's the graphics, the open world, or the monsters. The overall story is so engaging that it will compel you to complete the game and see the ending. It's a really heartfelt experience. To put it briefly, as a player, your main goal is to hunt down the creatures known as colossi. So, you are basically spending time looking for these gigantic monsters in a vast open world, which is kind of empty. I mean, it's not your usual Red Dead or Witcher open world. Instead, the game drops you into a somewhat barren open world where there's just land and rocks, with the task of hunting monsters. However, it's not as bad as it sounds. You will be thrilled after realizing how impressive the game actually is, and how it captivates you with its engaging features. Nevertheless, there's no big reason why I included this game other than to highlight its greatness. I just wanted to mention it so that more players find out about this underrated gem. The players who have completed this game all have different opinions, but one thing is confirmed. The game is amazing from gameplay to story, from visuals to music. Everything is top-notch. Let's hope they release it on different platforms, as for now, it's only available on PS4. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. It's no lie that the 4th part is the greatest of all time. After that, we all have our different preferences about the best Uncharted game. For me, Among Thieves showcases a lot of action and features a great storyline. When you think about what to play next after Uncharted 4 and want that same treasure seeker feeling, the 2nd part is the best choice. Everything flows seamlessly. You will never feel disconnected or wonder what's going on in the story. The game covers all the major aspects, such good characters, on-point dialogues, and beautiful scenery. You could say that after the first game, the developers did a great job perfecting everything and even adding some advanced features for the players. It's an epic ride filled with thrills and action. From start to end, you will love how Nathan Drake evolves and the story progresses.
Oh, what?
She broke your heart.
Oh, please.
She did,
Hey, you know what?
she?
Maybe I broke hers.
Oh, yes, Casanova.
I particularly love 2 things, the action scenes and the locations. If you specifically want to play another Uncharted game in 2024, then the 2nd one will give you an amazing experience. So, it's great for those players who haven't played any Uncharted game besides the 4th one to try the older titles. There's no better time to play the entire Uncharted series and experience different moments of Nathan's journey.
The one in the middle of all the gunfire and explosions.
Lucky us.
Nate, that's right where Lazarevich is camped. I was hoping we'd be headed in the opposite direction.
Well, desperate times, right?
Before I reveal my final pick, here are some honorable mentions, starting with none other than the OG AC Brotherhood. I don't think I need to tell you how great the Ezio Assassin's Creed games are. Sure, some players favor other titles, but Brotherhood is the fan favorite and introduces many new features, with the most noticeable being the option to call fellow assassins for help. I know there are better AC games, but if it's been a while since you touched AC Brotherhood, now is a great time to do so.
I hope you have treated our guest with kindness.
That mouth on her. How I'd love to sew it shut.
I'd rather like it open myself.
Another one we have is Sleeping Dogs. Honestly, there are no words to describe this game. Sleeping Dogs is one of the best open world game. The game is filled with detailed places and offers an amazing martial arts combat. My favorite features are definitely the parkour and free running system. I was thrilled to play an open world game where you can practice so many different movements.
Realizing I should have never dropped out of art school. I could have made it. I could have been a real somebody. Thank you for showing me the light off.
Another one is Road Rash. This will be a short description as the game is pure nostalgia. I would love to see you guys comment and let me know that there's still an audience who played this game. Road Rash is our childhood nostalgia that gave us awesome memories. The last bonus game is none other than the original Dragon's Dogma. Now, I know there's a sequel available, but I'm sure you will love the original. Low-key, I played the game in 2024 and still had an awesome blast. It was great to experience another fantastic RPG with fewer drawbacks. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. AC Black Flag is no doubt one of the best Assassin's Creed games. I love the recent titles, but there is something about the older Assassin's Creed games that brings back players decades later. While Brotherhood and the Ezio games are honorable mentions, Black Flag offers a whole different feeling with its awesome pirate theme. You can do much more than just killing NPCs. The developers also added an awesome ship combat and hunting animals. I spent many hours just wandering around the map. To this day, many people are still talking about Black Flag. GameRanks recently released a video about it. Honestly, we all wanted the ultimate pirate game, and so far, nothing has come close to the level of Black Flag, not even Skull and Bones. If you're looking for a great Assassin's Creed game to revisit and want to spend hours indulging in various activities besides just killing NPCs, then Black Flag is your prime choice. Every hardcore AC fan should play this game. It's got everything to keep you engaged.
Showtime! Those who oppose, whimper nay.
There are moments where the journey drags and becomes boring, but the plus points make everything better. You're looking at a good 15 hours of awesome gameplay filled with side activities. A bonus tip is to stay patient, as sometimes you might feel that the game is just about exploring the ocean, but the cutscenes elevate the experience. I am thankful to the creators for adding cutscenes for shark capturing, plundering, and more. It's just awesome to explore the ocean with your crew and listen to them singing the sea shanties. Alright, this ends our list of 10 great games that you can revisit in 2024 to relive the memories and have a great nostalgic blast. I'm sure there is something for everyone here, regardless of your favorite genres. I have carefully chosen the best games for different tastes such as FPS, RPG, racing, and adventure. If you've played all of them, try getting your hands on other titles from the series. Also, there are already a few videos available on the channel about revisiting older games. If you have made it this far, please subscribe as we are close to reaching 15,000 subscribers. Now see you later, and have a good day.